Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman reaching Parliament to present her sixth budget. Remember, the first interim budget was presented way back in 1947 by R.K. Shanmugam Chetty. From then on, 14 interim budgets have been presented. The last was presented in February 2019 by Interim Finance Minister Piyush Goyal. This is when Arun Jaitley was in the United States for medical treatment. After that, now Nirmala Sitharaman, flanked by her two ministers of state, Pankaj, Choudhury and Bhagwat, Kishan, Kharad, walking up the stairs at Parliament to present her sixth finance budget.
And the first budget in the new Parliament building. You know, this will be the first budget that's been presented in the new Parliament building. Security much tighter than it's ever been before after what happened in the last session. You've got CISF now taking over parts of the Parliament complex. So it's historic in that sense. The first budget, she will be remembered as the first finance minister who gave a budget in the new Parliament building. And that can give reason for her to be remembered among other things.
If you're interested in trivia, here's something to chew on or along with your breakfast or whatever it is you're doing this morning. Nirmala Sitharaman holds the record for the longest ever budget speech, 2 hours 42 minutes. This is in 2020. 2 hours 42 minutes, the longest ever budget speech by any finance minister. That's Nirmala Sitharaman. Typically, if you're wondering how long it's likely to be, 1 hour 25 minutes is the average. So February 23 was 1 hour 25 minutes, February 22 was 1 hour 27 minutes, 21 was 1 hour 50. Before that, 2 hours and 42 minutes. So let's see what she has in store for us.
But you see, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Piyush Goyal also holds the record for the longest interim budget speech, which was the last budget speech, 2019. So don't be surprised if this speech too is somewhere in that same range. I think that was an hour, well over an hour.
I don't think this will be long.
Sorry?
1 hour 10 minutes max today.
You're saying 1 hour 10 minutes max? Are you... You know, the question we asked before you came in, Mr. Kumar, whether when you are going into an interim budget, you look at it very differently to a full budget, both as finance minister, as bureaucrats in the finance ministry, and indeed watchers like us. Do you believe that you know, your mindset is completely different?
That depends upon the year in which the interim budget is being presented. If it is being presented in 2014 February or March, or 19 February or March, is very different from what we...
How?
Because of the uncertainty facing the prior to the elections. You know, at the moment, it seems, you know, for me at least, that the finance minister would be reasonably, reasonable to assume that she, you know, her party would present the next budget in July.
So are you saying that puts much less pressure on you to do something big?
To be a populist, to be a big bang populist.
But we haven't seen from any finance minister such an effort to try and taper expectations. Nirmala Sitharaman said on the 7th of December, no spectacular announcements will come in the vote of account. You have to wait after the new government comes in and presents the next full budget in July 2024. Now, usually, all finance ministers like the arc lights. They like to have their moment out in the sun. Here, Nirmala Sitharaman is going very far to try and keep expectations low.
No, but it depends, Rahul, on what you define as spectacular. Sure. You see, you're right, you keep expectations low, but given this government's history, they've always looked for that one headlineable item. I can't believe that, you know, you will have tomorrow's paper saying Nirmala Sitharaman delivers a less than spectacular budget.
So, Rajdeep, in my judgment, there can be two explanations for the kind of statement she made. Number one, if you think that the 2024 is done deal and you don't require any more of the persuasion for the voters or reaching out to the voter, that's one. Second one is what you can look for some clues in G20. The G20 until the leadership summit, the expectations were very low. In fact, there was deliberate kind of thing that it might be a failure kind of summit. And suddenly that communique comes and it becomes such a talking point that you've delivered. So you create a
sense... So it's strategic. It's almost strategic to keep the expectations low, because you said, Mr. Kumar, in the break that you hope that there may be, or you presume or hope that there will be something in this budget for women. Now, there's been some comment that maybe given the success the BJP achieved in Madhya Pradesh, which was attributed by many to the Ladli Behna scheme, putting cash in the hands of BPL women. You could have something equivalent to Kisan Samman, but this time for women.
That could be one approach, but my take really was, Rajdeep, that the women participation rate in our employment, in our workforce is so low, and increasing that would really give a fillip to the GDP. So there could be some kind of a incentive for women to join the workforce rather than to stay back at home.
Okay.
And that could be one measure, which is different from putting money in the bank, but encouraging women to join the workforce, and maybe giving the firms or the enterprises some encouragement to employ women.
So Rajdeep, if you recall, after the pandemic, one of the giveaway was 500 rupees per month to the women.
Yes.
20 crore women. So when it comes to sort of reaching out, women is a very powerful constituency. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that, which was done post-pandemic, is also done now. Because creating job for women is a very, very difficult and arduous task. Now, what you see in the PLFS data, where the women workforce is increasing, employment is increasing, but that is in one category, which you drill down and you find unpaid woman worker in family enterprises. That is neither here nor there. That's not employment. That is just counting somebody who is not working and getting anything as employed. So, Ladli Behna, the 2020 precedent, women being a very powerful supporter of Ram theory and others also. So, to my mind, I think there would be a good package for women.
No, I agree with you, because I think one thing that is very clear, this is the political part of it. No political party in recent times has won an election without getting a majority woman vote.
Excellent.
Any party, and even when opposition has won, Mamata Banerjee won Bengal because she got a larger chunk of the woman vote. So, and I think the Prime Minister is very conscious of that. So, what form this sort of package takes for women may differ.
This opportunity cannot be missed in my view.
So you think there is a strong possibility that in this budget there will be something specifically targeted for women?
Absolutely.
And given that you've got all these Jan Dhan accounts, more than 500 million, of which I think 70% are women owned.
Delivery is very easy now.
Delivery is possible.
Delivery is very easy.
Delivery is possible, so that could be done. But what I suggested would really make it a very interesting one, to increase the women participation.
How do you do it is the question. How do you incentivize women to participate in the labour workforce?
You incentivize enterprises to get women into the workforce.
Very different.
By creating women friendly facilities, by giving you extra money for to pay to the women. The women male female ratio for wages gets corrected. All of that sort of thing, and that can be done. And that will be a really huge step if you do that.
Okay.